Hello everybody, welcome back to Wallaby Racing League. We are here tonight for Tier 1 and it is Singapore, round 13 I believe? I think it's 13 of our 16 rounds this season. And we are approaching the end of the season, only 3 races left to go. And it is certainly heating up with 13 drivers racing tonight, unless we have some more coming. Unfortunately, we've had some late pullouts due to the fact that it was going to be an 100% race, I believe, but not much we can do. But tonight, though, will be a 50% race due to the numbers, but it'll still be double points, so all to play for in this race. We do have 2 Tier 2 drivers joining us as well tonight with Joyful and Jack Gornall, formerly known as Bremer, but we'll call him Jack just for the sake of it on stream, probably because he'll probably prefer it that way anyway. And we've also got Rio Harris making his debut in the league, so we welcome him to Wallaby Racing League, and hopefully he can have a fun race tonight. But tonight's a special night as well, because this man, he's not out on track at the moment, but Left 4 Dead, he can mathematically wrap up the championship tonight. If he wins this race, all Jono needs to do, it's really just down to where Jono finishes. Oxchillo's not racing, Potato's not racing, Viper has to, I have the thing up. I'll get up on my phone. Welcome Hunter to the stream, hope you're having a lovely night. Just gonna check Discord, because I did the maths today. I sent it to myself. Oh, I'm not gonna download it. That's fine. But anyway, we'll just get watching. We've got Fat Cat on a lap, and oh dear! Left 4 Dead's got a 5-place grid penalty. Collision with Jack Gornall. That is not what you love to see. Early setbacks for our championship leader tonight. Okay. Yeah, here we go. It's really zoomed out. I'm gonna zoom in. But we did do the maths today. So, if Left 4 Dead wins, this is without taking into account the fastest lap, Jono has to finish 6th or higher to keep it alive. And now Ox and Potato are out of it, unless Lefty DNFs or like doesn't score any points or something. I mean, technically they could still be in it, just depending on where he finishes. He has to be really low down. But Jono has to finish 6th or higher to keep it alive. Viper has to finish 2nd if Lefty wins. Viper has to finish 2nd to keep it alive. And with fastest lap, Jono would have to finish 5th if Lefty won with fastest lap. And then Viper's out of it. So Fat Cat goes to the top with a 27.3 banker. That is a good lap. But say like if Lefty finishes 2nd, then Jono only has to finish 10th or higher. So there's a lot more, bit more safety with that, who is P2 at the moment. So we'll see, we'll keep checking up and following the championship tonight. But yeah, it can be one. And hello, ZK, welcome to the stream. Hopefully you're doing well, and hopefully you're recovering very well from your sickness. Same with Ox as well. But yeah, big night tonight for Jono and Left 4 Dead. We will watch his lap. But yeah, thank God it's not an 100% race. We did do a late vote, and the drivers did choose to do 50%. 100% would have just taken way too long. And even in Tier 2 last night was a very long race. It was like 2 hours, a bit more than 2 hours because of the rain as well. But Lefferdad across the line goes onto the front row with the 27.5, but also going to take into account his 5-place grid penalty. Rilo as well, coming round on his lap. 28.9. I think Joyful's coming in, but the drivers reserving tonight. Lots of FSTs in here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. I think these guys are a part of it as well. Part of FST, the community run by Coda, and I believe a few of the others. But nice little community there. And it looks like these drivers are getting involved with it. So good to see. Most of the drivers have done their laps. However, Fraser is starting his lap now. So we'll go on board with him for a little bit. As he, teammate of Lefferdad, who is looking to make it 4 championships in a row. Which I need to fact check, but it's never been done in Wallaby. 3 has never been done in Wallaby in a row. We can share the 3-stream watch streak. How good. There was an error sharing your watch streak. That's not very nice. Oh. Perfect timing then. He's on an out lap, so we'll watch it when he's done. So we'll get that hot lap with Fat Cat. I'll keep an eye on him. Keep an eye on his car when he comes around to start the lap. Someone's tapped the wall. I think that was Fat Cat on the other side of the track. But F1NZ coming into the final chicane now. And then it's a flat out left-hander. It should be flat out up to the line. It could even be a lift, but I think it's certainly a lift as Fat Cat, not Fat Cat, F1NZ's gone straight into the wall. And that is not what you love to see. That's not what you want to see. Burning through there is probably not the way to go. And I think he's learnt the unfortunate reality of that as we'll get ready to go on board with Fat Cat for his lap. So we'll get this UI hidden. And we will do a hot lap requested by ZK with Fat Cat. So getting the lap started. 6th gear through the final corner. You want to burn a little bit of battery then on the ramp down to turn number 1. And then it should be 4th gear for the first apex. Then you go into turn number 2 and 3. It's 3rd gear again, then getting on the power. Very easy to lose the rear end, but he does it very nicely. They're getting onto the power into turn 4. Should be about 4th gear. Then you want to burn and accelerate. You burn as much battery as you can, not all the way, because there's obviously plenty of battery to be regenerated throughout the middle sector of this lap. So far, I think he's up. He is up by 300ths of a second then. So down into the middle sector we go. A little bit of oversteer then on the exit of the corner, but he gets away with it and has a little bit more fighting the car, fighting the rear end through this middle sector into the Singapore sling, and he's slammed into the wall. A bit too early turn in there for Fat Cat, and that is the lap over. We're just going to pretend we didn't see that as well. But yeah, that is not ideal for Fat Cat, turning it a little bit too early into the Singapore sling. The old corner. He turned into just a left-hander. And unfortunately for him, that is him done as Jack Gornall goes up to 3rd fastest. Tier 2 reserve driver stepping up in Tier 1 and showing them all how it's done at the moment. 3 FSTs in the top 3. With Joyful on a lap. I believe Hilly's on a lap too. Wingy Woo. We can watch Wingy as he's heading towards the final chicane. We'll stay on board with the Williams driver. Down to 3rd gear. Getting onto the power, short shifting up to 4th, and he's going to burn all the remaining battery, then down into the final corner and burn up to the line. It is P3 for Wingy Woo. Moves ahead of the McLaren. And it is a 27.645. Nice lap there from Wingy Woo with JDR Mr. Thunder moving up to 5th place. Jono 2nd in the championship. Can keep mathematically within it after tonight's race. There is, because this is double points, there is about 72 plus 72. Oh, he's tapped the wall there. Into turn 9, I think that's turn 9. 144 points available over these next 3 races, if you include this one. So championship's still in it, but if Left 4 Dead wins, then he makes things very difficult. So there's a little bit of pressure on the Mercedes tonight to keep it alive. But all he needs to do is just finish in that top 6, and the fight will go on to next week at Monza. Final 2 races of the season. And we'll also have a quick look at, after this, the standings of Tier 1 plus the overalls. As Jono goes to the top with a 27.2. Great lap there from the Mercedes. We're going to have a look at our championship standings. So, results from last race at Abu Dhabi about 3 weeks ago. It was Ryan Cox reserving. He did take out the victory in an absolute dominant drive there. Left 4 Dead did finish P2. Great fight back from 10th on the grid. I do remember that race. Commentating, we had F1 and Z finish 3rd. Dante 4th reserving. Oxchillo 5th and Jono 6th. And then the championship-wise, this is how it looks. Oxchillo, Potato, you can kind of rule them out for now because of their unavailability for this race. But anything can happen. Things can change. They could still be in it, but we will find out at the end of this race. But Left 4 Dead looking in the best position possible at the moment, along with Sauber for that Constructors title. But only one of the Saubers is racing tonight, so it's a perfect chance for Racing Bulls to gain some much needed points in this double points race. There it is. Current overalls, RB leads the overalls going into this round. Tier 4 and Tier 3, Haas was definitely the main point scorers. However, a double DNF last night for Haas has made things wide open again for RB with their 1st and 4th place. But we'll see what happens tonight. Along with, I think there's only one Haas racing tonight. So, it's interesting. You can very much say the Haas team have been pushing RB the whole way over these last few races, mostly throughout most of the season. And now RB is starting to break away again. So they are looking oh so strong to take that overalls title with only one Haas racing. So JDI has got a lot of pressure on his shoulders tonight to just get some solid points for that Haas team in that overalls battle with Left 4 Dead and RB. He's looking to make it 5 in a row overalls wise. 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 5 in a row. Very much the most dominant team principal in all the leagues, you can say, in Australia. And I do need a fact check, but I did see something. If Left 4 Dead wins 4 in a row, that could be the only one to have done so in Australia. But you don't know. At least in the very notable leagues, I might be right, but really don't know. So Fat Cat going out for his lap again. Interestingly, uses none through here, taking a bit of a different strategy compared to what most of the drivers use on this game. Medium ERS is what most of the drivers do usually use. However, he's opted for a little bit of a different strategy. I don't know if that's his normal strat, but he is on medium and then he goes down to none for these corners just to recharge that battery. And he stays within the lines of the track then. It's been a solid start to the lap for Batcat Batman. On the run down towards Singapore Sling. Can he get this right this time? He turned in a little bit too early last lap. Gets that almost perfect there. That was a very good run for the Sauber. He's looking to take pole here once again. He's already scored multiple pole positions this season. And can he make it another one to add to the total? Up towards the final sector now. He's up by half a tenth. He needs a bit more than that though if he wants to take pole here. He needs about just under a tenth of a second. So, is it possible for the Sauber to do it? Lefferter did take that front row place away from him just a few moments ago. But the Sauber, can he do it? He's burning all the battery up to the line. It's just about this final corner now. And up to the line. Is it going to be provisional pole? It's only a 1/1000th improvement. He's got time though. He doesn't. He's got to push on this lap. He's got to push on this lap if he wants to have another chance to do another lap here. So that could be wraps for Fat Cat, and it might only be third at best. Alrighty. We're almost ready to go for our final laps of the session. Yeah, X-Night. It's only 13 drivers tonight, but it is what it is. We were looking good until we weren't just a few moments ago, but it's alright. Viper's starting his lap now. So, Red Bull 5th in the championship. Can still finish first mathematically. Needs a mega result tonight if he wants to keep his hopes alive. But it is possible. And he's won 2 races this season. I think he might have won 3. He's won at least 2 from what I can remember. So he's had a very good season compared to his previous seasons in his career, winning his first race ever in Wallaby Racing League back in round 1 at Japan. Got a lot of praise from everyone as Leffert's not made it to the line. He's not made it. Oh no. So he's not able to do this lap. It's down to Jono, who's 500ths down. Batcat couldn't make it either. Viper's down by a 10.5. Jono's down. Wingy, I don't know what's happening with Wingy, but we'll see. Where is there any time for him? Viper's up though. He's gone purple in that middle sector, but he's still going to find 2/10 in this final chicane if he wants to take P3. He needs a little bit more than that if he wants to get pole. But for Left 4 Dead, setback for the championship leader. Will that hamper his chances of winning the championship tonight, as Jono is 700ths up. He's looking to extend the margin at the top of the table for pole here at Singapore. No points for pole, but it is where you want to be, especially at a track like Singapore. So, Jono rounding the final corner. Jack Gornall's gone P4. Brilliant lap from him. And it's a 27-1 from Jono, who will take pole position here at Singapore Tier 1 Wallaby Racing League. Sammy, P4. Great lap from him. And there you have it. It's pole position for Jono. That's where you want to be. And he'll be very happy with that. Unfortunately for the championship leader, has had to take a 5-place grid penalty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He'll start 7th on the grid. And we know he's been good this season in the races fighting back. But does he have a chance to still win this championship tonight? But Jono, great lap there to take pole position here for the Singapore Grand Prix. 1.3 tenths. Did it? Yeah, that's not ideal. Didn't make it to the line. Oh dear. Yeah, that's That's not ideal. Hopefully they can recover. That's, yeah, not ideal. Alrighty, let's get ready. Because we got a 31 lap race ahead of us tonight. 50% instead of the double point, or the double, it's double point still, the double distance, 100%. Here we go. Drivers getting the strategies and fuel, any last minute setup changes. Obviously park frame race off, so they do most likely have completely different setups for both quali and race. Hello Broadster, welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a great night. So we're about to get ready to go for this tier 1 race. 3 races to go. So we're almost ready, I hope. Taking their time. Oh dear. I hope I haven't disconnected, because that would be just comedic timing to perfection. But I think we're in. I think we're fine. It's just waiting for plays. They're just taking time. Here we go. 5 red lights for the Singapore Grand Prix. Can the championship be won tonight? We'll find out in 31 laps time as it's lights out. And away we go. It's a good start from Jono, but Fat Cat also got a better start, I think. He's going to be alongside the Mercedes into turn 1. Down the inside, Jono keeps it on the track just. And he'll hold on into the lead then. Both McLarens going side by side into turn 2 and 3. Sammy getting the better of Jack Gornall under pressure then is Left 4 Dead. Brilliant start. Up 2 places, up to 5th place. That's what you want to see from the championship leader. He'll be happy with that. But Jono leads from Fat Cat in 2nd. Then 3rd is Sammy. 4th, Jack Gornall. 5th, Left 4 Dead, Viper in 6th. As Left 4 Dead's going to go for him. No, he just thinks better of it on the inside of Jack Gornall into turn 5. Wingy Woo up in 7th place. Everyone keeping it very respectful and clean throughout the first start of this opening lap. But it is Mercedes getting the better start then and defending that position brilliantly into turn 1 ahead of the Sauber of Fat Cat. Okay. So this is where drivers just need to settle in. It's going to be a long race. 31 laps. It doesn't seem long, but at this track, it does take a long, long time. So it's just a matter of just manage the tires, manage your battery, and manage everything. Do not want to get track limit warnings, especially here, because it's easy to do, but also isn't at the same time. But when they do, you get penalties. They bite hard, and it's a case of just got to try and pull out those gaps as Sammy's almost dropped out of DRS then, and Left 4 Dead gets the better of the McLaren of Jack Gornall up to P4 is the championship leader. And meanwhile, a second already. The top 2 have almost broken away, but I think Sammy just fell out of DRS then at the detection. So unfortunately for him, he does not have DRS. He might be able to catch back up in the middle sector, but that could hurt the rest of these guys' race as well. So they will want to try and get past as quick as possible. Look at the game positions. So Lefty up 3, Jack, Viper, and Wingy all down 1. Off that start was a brilliant start from the RB. And it's both RBs, Fraser, Flag up 2 positions. Rilo and Joyful and Hilly all gaining a position as well off the start. JDI unfortunately losing 5. Okay, Sammy's back in DRS range, so he's all good for now. It's not over in the slightest for Sammy. But Jono, our race leader, as it stands, championship will go to the next round at Monza. But still a long way to go. As Fat Cat goes very wide out of the final corner there. That might have even been a track limits warning because of how fast he was going. And he went so wide. But struggling already, it seems, are these drivers. It's not an easy track, is Singapore. And it's the longevity of driving is very important. Trying not to tire yourself out. As Wingy Woo's going to have a go on the inside of Viper. A little bit of contact on the exit of the corner, but the Williams gets past, and Viper is down to 7th place, as Joyful has had a spin down the back, and that's unfortunate for the reserve in the Ferrari tonight. He has spun. Starting on the hard tires is Joyful and Hilly, so interesting for those two to opt for the different strategy, as there's a little bit of a spin almost there. But Fat has Wingy's crashed! Wingy has crashed! At the hairpin. What the hell's happened there? Virtual safety car. And it is Wingy who has crashed at the hairpin, but he didn't have a wheel off. So he might have hit, maybe hit one of the walls and then just got bulldozed into the middle of the track. Okay. VRC is deployed. So drivers will stick to the deltas. And Jono, I don't know if before that VSC he was able to get out of the 1 second gap to Fat Cat. So Fat Cat might be our DRS, but F1NZ is coming into the pits then. Yeah, I think it was just the moment into the... Oh, that's not ideal for Sammy, as he's had a horrendous restart and he's let both his teammate and Lefferted through. So now the RB is up to 3rd with his teammate Jack Arnold in 4th. But yeah, I think what happened, Wingy just probably something in the hairpin, or might have hit one of those walls that stick out. And if you get a little bit too tight, you can come out very quickly and then ruin your race. So, now I did, well, it doesn't mean anything now, but I did do the maths, I think for 3rd as well, because I was bored in class today. Well, not class, but free periods, so I don't need to worry. Where's... Yeah, so all Jono needs to do is just finish this race if everything stands as it is, and the championship goes to the next race. But if it turns into like this, then it's over for Ox, Potato, and Viper. However, Viper is in it still. And I say that, and he's not, because Rio Harris has gone up into 6th place. Great debut so far for the Red Bull, as Fat Cat has spun into the wall down at turn at the final corner and on the pit straight. And Fat Cat, who was in 2nd place, has gone round, and that changes things big time. He was struggling, it seemed. A few laps ago, he did go very wide into that final corner. I wonder if he's had just a snap of oversteer, carrying too much speed, and then the car just went. And it's all over. But it's not. But has he got wing damage? No, I think he's fine. But his positions and the hard work qualifying on that front row, getting a good start, was able to stick with Jono. And it's all come away from him now, down to 7th place. Still plenty of time to recover though, but Jono is now running away in the clean air with Lefferted in 2nd now. Started 7th and up to 2nd in 5 laps. What a start to this race he has having. And long way to go. Can he catch and fight against his championship rival? Good race so far for Jack in P3. Looking to stick within that DRS of left for dead, just to get dragged along closer and closer to the race lead, as he's looking to claim a tier 1 podium, which I'm sure he'll be very happy with if he can pull it off. Obviously did win in tier 2 last night, and can he make it a podium in tier 1 as well? As Rilo getting past Viper. He's having a great start to this race. Is Viper, as Hilly gets a penalty, but Viper's falling down further and further, inheriting positions with those incidents as Joyful and Hilly are battling. Hilly on the inside, Joyful goes off track, and that allows that Aston Martin to go through up to 8th place, who I believe had got a 3-second penalty. But yeah, Hilly up to 8th. Good race so far for the Mercedes team. 1st and 5th at the moment. So far the high scoring team at the moment, with 70 points plus 18 cost times 2. I'm trying to think what that is. 10. 36, I think. So over 100 points, 106 points. As Lefebvre has the fastest lap so far. He's been saying this whole... He's been saying to me today how he never... Oh, I think it was in a discussion the other day. He never gets fastest lap. And he when I was doing the maths for the championship today and I calculated the fastest lap maths, he said, oh, don't worry about that because that won't happen. I never get fastest lap. So, not trying to jinx, but right now he does have that fastest lap. And he's got it by about half a tenth over P2, I believe. However, yeah, I think that's right. So, we'll see if he does get it, which will be interesting, but either way, Jono is moving further ahead. The gap is now 2.5 seconds, so he's having an impressive race so far for the man who is 2nd in the championship, looking to gain as many points as he can tonight to keep the battle close and going on to the next race at Monza. Kicking off again on Sunday night with tier 4 as Left 4 Dead spun. He's had a moment. I think he's been able to save it, but he's lost it. And few drivers now getting caught out by that final corner. It's not an easy one. Once again, carrying a bit too much speed. And he's had to pay the price. And he's now dropped back to 3rd. So Jack moves ahead to 2nd, and will now look to try and chase down Jono, but Jono's lead's now just increased thanks to that by another whole second. It's now 3.6. As Fat Cat's retired in the pits. That's him done, so that's 2 retirees in this race. I know, because everyone's wobbling. People you don't normally see wobbling. Wobbling. Joyful goes off the track. Yeah. Just tonight. We've had good numbers all week. And tier 1's actually been doing well recently. I'm sure next week we'll be back to normal with our numbers. But we've had drivers willing to race and we've got it for them, so no worries. So now Rio Harris up to 4th place. He is having a good debut race, I must say. He's looking to chase down the RB. He is in DRS range. He doesn't have a lot of backstreet, neither does Left 4 Dead, so they're quite even at the moment. But can this Red Bull stick within the DRS range? He's having a good race so far, but can he improve even more and possibly up into the podium places? We shall see. He's looking solid at the moment. He's closing in on that RB as F1NZ does get past Joyful once again. As Joyful slides into the corner, and that is a spin for the Ferrari. A bit of rear locking there, carrying a little bit too much speed on the entry. And that is the spin for Joyful. 9 laps in, Jono leads. 3.3 is the gap, so Jack is closing in just ever so slightly on the Mercedes, but we will see if he can do it. The gap is closing just a little bit. Jeez. So we will see some pit stops soon, I think. 15 laps on the hards, probably a bit more. So we might see some drivers pitting soon. I'm not too sure because we haven't done a 50% race all week, so I think it'll be around before lap 15 we'll see some drivers starting to pit. So we'll see when Jono bites the bullet, but he's looking almighty fast at the moment out there in P1 with Rio closing in on Left 4 Dead, but he's still just sitting back in the DRS, and Lefty's managing that gap pretty well with Viper in DRS range of Rilo. Joyful has, I don't think he fitted up, but no, he stayed out. It's just lost a lot of time from that spin. Let's go on to lap 11. 21 laps to go in this race. It is a long one. It does take its time, and the gap is going down. Joyful has crashed again. Another spin for Joyful. I think it's, unfortunately, he might just have to get off those tyres. But he's out there giving it a go, driving. Might be able to get some points. We shall see. Well, I mean, he literally just has to finish the race and he gets like 8 points or something. So you're worth staying in there. So, Spike, I think he's trying to call it a safety car. I have that feeling, but yeah, got him. If I was him, I'd just pit. But yeah, he's like, coming in. I'll look at the standings in a second. Yeah, he's coming in, that's fine. But at this point, yeah, he's retired. It's 277 points Jono's on at the moment. Lefty's at 308. Jono will be at 3... trying to think here, hang on. 3, 4, 5... yeah, 347? 347. Lefty will be at 46. Jono might take the lead at this rate. No, they'll be level. They'll be level, I think. If I've done my maths right. Let me have a look, actually. Let's get the old calculator out. Actually, I'll keep the Twitch chat up. Hang on a second. Let me go grab my calculator. Okay. Because I've memorized the numbers they're on currently because of how long I spent doing them today. So 277 plus 70 is 347, and 308 plus 23 plus 23 is, okay, no, it's not level. I can confirm that. 308 plus 47, yeah, 355, it'll be 8 points though. And then someone spun again. It's Rio, I think. Or he might have spun going into the pits or hit the wall. But coming into the pits, something's happened. I did hear the crowd go a little bit crazy there. And there was a yellow flag, but I think he's escaped any damage. So he's alright for now. But yeah, championship is close at the moment. There's still a long way to go, but if Jono can win this race, it'll do him very good in keeping this thing alive and potentially getting involved into these last 2 races of the season. So make sure to be there to watch it, because we'll be live watching every moment of it here at Wallaby Racing League. With 2 rounds to go in Season 9. About to head into Season 10. If you haven't already, make sure to join the league. There's the Discord invite in our profile, and if you can't get one, we'll obviously get a link for you, but make sure to join the league and get involved with our lovely community and also racing in general. It's a fun 4 tiers league. We do have good numbers, we do have lots of good things, so make sure to come and get involved, as there is damage from Wiper, I think. There's a little bit of front wing damage on that Red Bull. Next Knights, I am not sure. I can only see because of just interest, I guess, an entertainment factor. Do you really want to sit around at the back? I mean, some people will, but sitting around the back all by yourself for a very long time at this track can get very boring, so people might just not want to bother. And for Joyful's case, he probably couldn't bother because he's not even a driver in this tier, so. Left Dead comes out, and so does Jack Gornall, but significantly ahead of Rio and Rilo. Rio's undercut Left 4 Dead by about 5 seconds, probably more than that. The AI drive. Don't worry, last night I was like a minute behind because I was bad in the wet and then I got disconnected, so I just let the AI drive for a little while and then I came back because I couldn't get back in the lobby. So I was thankful the AI just drove for a bit and I did the last couple laps. Yeah, you know. It happens. I'm sure we'd have even less finishes if it was an 100% race. As our race leader comes in, Jono, into the pits. See how he goes. And that McLaren, he's going to look to want to try to get past Jack. He'll look to try to get past F1 and Z as quick as he can. He's having a look on the inside of Hilly into the flash. A bit of contact there. Hilly has to go off the track. And Jack will go through up to 5th place. But now where does Jono come out of the pits? He's coming out now and he's got a nice and healthy little gap then out front as Jack Gornall up to second place down the inside into turn one. And there you can see that Mercedes in the distance, just that little bit up the road. And Jack has made use of the undercut a little bit there. He's found about a second then, a bit more than that probably from before the pit stops occurred. So it's now McLaren's chance to try and close in a little bit more with those warm tyres, but Jono will have the fresher tyres by a lap towards the end of this race. We are almost halfway then, and it's Rio Harris up to fourth place. One of them in that. So we are half distance in this race, which is positive, meaning that we don't have too long to go, but there is still a bit. It is. But as it stands at the moment, Lafayette's got a bit of work to do if he wants to keep the championship lead, because at this rate, he might even lose it. He's gone from potentially wrapping it up this week, this tonight, to possibly even losing that lead. But Jack is starting to get a little bit threatening towards the Mercedes of Jono. The gap is coming down by about a tenth or two last lap. So McLaren's going to be pushing. He wants to go for back-to-back wins in 2 nights. It could be a first ever victory in Tier 1 for the McLaren. He's been working real hard recently to get to the level he is at now. But does he have what it takes to win this race? That will be interesting to see in these final 30, well not 30, about 15 laps. We go less than that now, about 14 laps to go. 15 laps, sorry, to go in this race. So we did miss that, but Lafayette is up to 6th place. He is ahead of Hilly. And he moves into 6th with Rilo just up the road by about a second. So he will look to move up into 5th and make that chase down towards F1 and Z, his teammate, which I'm sure he won't put up too much of a fight. When he does catch up, he is obviously still yet to pit, which I'm sure he will in the next few laps, along with that Aston Martin of Hilly. Managing that gap well is Jono. He's kept the gap to 2.5 seconds to Dan McLaren of Jack Gornall, and he is keeping it very, very well managed at the moment. There is still lots of time left in this race for things to happen. As Lafayette has caught up to the back of the Mercedes of Rilo. So Rilo's had a poor run out of the final corner, but Lafayette doesn't have the battery to make a move. So it looks like the RB of F1 and Z, he is backing him up a little bit into his teammate. And will we see a possible overtake as Hilly does come into the pits then? So everyone JDI Viper and Sammy all gain a position. And now will Rilo potentially go for it on F1 and Z? He does pull out to the left-hand side and down the inside into turn 5 and up into P4. However, F1 and Z does try to fight back, but then he does let his teammate through. So great teamwork there between the two RBs. Don't want to give his teammate too much of a fight. And he is now free to chase down Rilo for that 4th place spot. Now Harris as well up the road by about 3 seconds. So a very different podium than we're used to seeing tonight. With Jono, if he wins, it will be another victory for him this season. He hasn't taken too many, but he's been very consistent and been up there quite a lot this season. So it's been great to see for him to put himself in this championship fight and put it up to the man himself, who's gone up into 4th place. But still a long way to go. Things can change, so I'm not dead set on whatever result happens at the moment, because plenty of time for things to change. The gap's about 2.7 seconds now to the Red Bull in 3rd. So I think what Lefty needs to do is just try to get 4th as well, but at least manage it enough to stay 4th. But even 3rd, it could be something that he wants to chase down, because then 5.7 seconds up the road, 2nd and 1st. So it's really unlikely to win from here, but 3rd is still very much possible. And in Rio's first race for Wallaby, the experience factor might what's the word? Take over here. But we will see. We will see. We will see. We will see. Up next is Monza, of course. Next week, we will go into the final 2 rounds of the championship. Tier 4 has been wrapped up. Big congratulations to Donut Gorilla. He is our Season 9 Tier 4 champion. A new driver to become crowned the 3rd driver in a different driver to win Tier 4, obviously. I can't say that because the drivers go up every season, so of course they're going to be different. But following in the other Haas's footsteps last season, Jerabot and Almighty Gob in Season 7, and Dark Phoenix in Season 6. I forgot we've had a Tier 4 for 4 seasons. As Fraser comes out of the pits, he's finally pitted and gone on to the medium tyres to go to the end of the rest of the race and will challenge for fastest lap, I'm sure. However, he might not want to take it because his teammate still has that fastest lap at the moment, but with those fresh medium tyres, we might see a change of that in the next couple of laps. Tier 3, very close at the moment. It is between Mini Jorgo and Pinju. With Pinju missing Singapore, Mini Jorgo claimed the win. He's taken the championship lead, but Mini Jorgo will not make it to Monza. So there's a big chance for Pinju to regain all those points that he had lost. And hopefully for him, he can make things exciting going into the final race there. Tier 2, big points gain for Brodster last night over Uffenhoof, extending that championship lead out. And it looks like he's breaking away further and further, just like this man Jono in this race. 3.5 seconds is now the gap to Jack in P2. So Jono's put the foot down and has decided to push that little bit harder to get the gap out to a bit more of a comfortable lead to the McLaren in 2nd, as Left 4 Dead right on the back of the Red Bull now of Rio. So He is now starting to pick up some pace here in this race, but at the same time, Rio has dropped back 2 seconds from Jack Gornall. So the Red Bull is starting to lose a lot of time and the pace has dropped quite significantly. So the RB is going to want to try and get past as quick as he can, as he's significantly faster at the moment than Rio. So can Lefferdead do it? Then coming out of the hairpin, then approaching towards the final sector. He's going to burn some of the battery, but he can't really get enough slipstream to get a move done here. It's not long enough as a straight, but he has another chance here. There's 3 DRS zones on this track. I think there's 4, sorry. There's 4 DRS zones on this track. The only other track to have 4 on the F1 calendar is Melbourne in Albert Park. There's the DRS straight down the main straight. Then on at the end of sector 1. And then obviously the 2 down that back straight and around down to the final chicane. So now Lefferdead, he won't have a look then into turn 1, but he's saving that battery to then go for the move into the next DRS straight. However, the Red Bull has been managing his battery very well. And he's got a nice bit of battery to try and defend here. But Lefferdead can get a better exit? No, but Rio's burning that battery very well. So he might be fine here. As Lefferdead goes for it on the outside into turn 5. He gets forced wide and has to settle for 4th place for another lap. Unfortunately, this battling is costing them significant amounts of time as it's contact. But both drivers are all good. Lefferdead is getting a little bit impatient there, trying to force an overtake. I think he just needs to save some of the battery and then just go for it when he can get the battery up. Or even a really good exit possibility here, but it's a little bit of oversteer and wheel spin. Now defending well is the Red Bull. Lefferdead gets the switchback almost. He's going to get a bit of exit. The Red Bull defends with the battery, but Lefferdead has the speed. And they're going to go side by side into the chicane, but Lefty backs out again. Not enough to take the lead. However, switchback possibility here into the final corner, but no move there. Not the way to go. Lots of time being lost, but at the same time, it's on Rio. He doesn't want to lose his podium here. He is fighting all his might here to keep the championship leader behind. And Lefferdead, he'd be fuming right now. He could be closing in back on Jack Gornall, but at the moment, Rio is in his way and it's helping Rilo. He's back in DRS range of this tour. He's got a great view of this battle. Lefferdead, is he going to go for it again? Round the outside, late braking then, and he's going to get a bit of sliding there, a bit of contact made, and that is going to be the inside. Then he pushes the Red Bull out wide. Red Bull will have the inside. Rio gets a snap of oversteer, and that is it then. Lefferdead up to 3rd place. Rio fought so hard, all he could, but in the end it wasn't enough, and Lefferdead got the elbows out and was able to get the move done, executed it well. But Rio will now have the DRS. Will he try to fight through and move ahead once again? But I think Lefferdead just has the better pace. It was just down to the defending that was so good from the Red Bull with the battery management and obviously defending on track. But the RB has gone ahead and up to 3rd place. He's got 9 seconds to catch Jack in P2. So, will that happen? I will see. Can't rule it out, but you never know. He is starting to drop back quite significantly from Jono, so we could see a bit of a chase down for 2nd place here for Lefferdead. So, this could help him in gaining those points over Jono, as it is going to be close at this rate. It is that 8 points margin, as the live points is, but who knows what's going to happen as Rio is close. He's burning the battery. Is he going to go for it then? Possibly a move on the outside, but Lefferdead parks the bus. Defends brilliantly, giving the Red Bull of Rio Harris a bit of a taste of his own medicine there with the defending. But this battling is bringing in not only Rilo a chance of a podium, but JDI Mr. Thunder. He's only 1.5 seconds back. It's gone down to 1.3. So this battle for the podium could be going down to a 4-way fight. As Jono 8 seconds out front now. This is his race to lose. And for Jono, absolute masterful drive so far this race. Still a few laps to go, but a very positive race and positive signs for this championship as Rio Harris moves past our championship leader and up to third once again. So this battle's now starting to spice up now for third place. As Lefferdet's got the DRS. Is he going to try and go for a move then? When he backs out of it, tries to fake a bit of an overtake there on the Red Bull. He's got getting his money's worth tonight. Is Lefferdet getting a run for his money? A bit of an oversteer snap there. And now he's going to have to fight this debutant impressively in the Red Bull tonight, reserving in his first Wallaby race. Is having a strong debut, giving it all he's got to our championship leader here. It's Lefferdet trying to find an overtake, find a gap, trying to do everything he can to possibly get past this Red Bull. But at the moment, Rio Harris is placing his car in all the right places. And he's managing that battery well. However, the exact same. Is there an overtake possibility here? Down towards the final chicane. Lefferdet's going to burn. So is Rio Harris. But I'm sure the RB will sit back just for a little bit longer. Very nice exit there for Lefferdet compared to the Red Bull. And now Lefferdet will have the slipstream and DRS to go for a possible overtake into turn one. He's sitting in none, so I don't see a move happening. But now JDI has caught up as well in the DRS. This is getting quite exciting, this battle here for third place. As it is JDI, and Viper is slowly in the background catching up. He is on significantly older tyres, but he can make his way even closer then to possibly gain some positions then. So this race is getting exciting. It definitely is. As Lefferdet tries again on the outside. The door has been closed and space has not been much left for the Red Bull. He's defending his car brilliantly. You have to give it to him. And for the Red Bull, he's doing very well out front. Though Jono, 10.5 seconds. He's just managing that gap brilliantly. He's pulling away even further from Jack Gornall, who's having a wonderful race himself. I'm sure will be very proud of himself to win the race last night as a reserve and come and step up again in Tier 1. But this time it will be second place, but a first podium in Tier 1 for him. I'm sure he'll be very happy with. And he doesn't deserve it. As Rilo under attack then from JDI, gets forced off the track a bit there. And JDI will have to settle, let's say, in 6th place for now. But onto lap 27 of this race. Rio Harris still in 3rd, saving that battery. Both drivers are about the same ERS percentage. We did have a new fastest lap, I did see before. So is this the chance for Jono to get the championship lead? I'm going to do the maths, but we'll do it when we get a chance. Lefferdet, he's going to go for it on the outside once again, with Rio Harris trying to force him off and not let him have it. But the RB says, thank you very much. I'm not letting you get back past ahead. And I'm going to move up into 3rd place. However, this Red Bull, he is giving him all he's got. He's staying close. So we'll see what Rio can do. We'll get the calculator out, because F1NZ's got fastest lap. We don't need to worry about that is all contact going into the hairpin almost. The Rio all over the back of Left 4 Dead. And so 277 plus 70, 347, 308 plus 40, 348. 1 point will be in it if Left 4 Dead finishes 4th, but 8 points if he finishes 3rd. So big gains tonight as Rilo gets another penalty. So he's going to drop back all the way down to 9th. Massive drop back then for Rilo, who's got 6 seconds of penalties now. But 4 laps to go. Alrighty. As there's a yellow flag. And it's Jack Gornall, I think. He's lost a significant amount of time. I believe he's had a spin or something, like a half spin. And he's dropped back by a few seconds then. So can Left 4 Dead catch up? Championship fight looks to still be on, indeed. It is very much still on. At this rate, it's going to be within 8 points. But if the Red Bull of Rio Harris looks for the move on the inside, which he does, and will he get the better traction on the exit? It's Left 4 Dead burning. He stays ahead, but Rio had a look. He's burning on the run down to the final chicane, but he won't get the move done. Left 4 Dead now using a bit of his defensive expertise to stay ahead. But now, at this point in time, Left 4 Dead holds on. We're on to lap 29. Driver of the day. Now, there's obviously, you look at your gain positions. You'd give it to one of, like, Rio or Lefty. But even Jono as well, he's driven really well this race. A absolutely masterful drive. You have to say, as if he can take the win, it's a very big statement to his rival Left 4 Dead going into these final 2 races as the Red Bull of Rio Harris round the outside. Left 4 Dead getting a bit squirrely on the exit there. He's going to have the outside. The Red Bull giving him plenty of space. Both drivers now battling side by side, and the RB holds on as the Red Bull gets a switchback opportunity, but it won't be done. But Jack Gornall's now falling into the clutches of these drivers here. Do we now have a battle for second here? This might save Left 4 Dead from Rio because of DRS. This could possibly be now where the McLaren has become a saviour for Left 4 Dead. And this could possibly be a chance to get second here. So, there's a chance here, but yeah, it's DRS for Left 4 Dead. But now the Red Bull of Rio Harris, he's all over the back of Left 4 Dead. There's contact going into the final chicane. We're going to have to go to send down the inside into the final chicane. He can't get it done. Tries the opportunity. Left 4 Dead fighting to stay ahead all he can. It's all the defensive maneuvers here, but now Rilo's having a look at Rio Harris. Rilo getting involved here. He might have a penalty, but on track, he cuts the corner and gets ahead. He's up to 4th. Will he have to get the place back though? I don't think so, but he's now looking for a move on Left 4 Dead. Rilo is finding all the pace now to try and get past this. Rio Harris under pressure from JDI. What is going on? What has been unfolding just in the last few seconds? Here's now Viper's almost going into the wall as JDI up the inside now as there's contact with him and Viper. Rio's off the road, and now it's all heating up in this battle for P2 here as there's contact between Viper and JDI, but Rio Harris holds on. Him fighting with Left 4 Dead for 3rd, and all of a sudden has dropped back to 5th with some Rilo getting the elbows out and getting ahead. We're about to go on to the last lap here. 30 seconds almost is the gap to Jono. This has been absolute domination. Last lap here. And now, Left 4 Dead, he's going to go for it on Jack Gornall. Is Jack going to fight it? He's down the inside and he's spun! Jack Gornall, oh no! And a spin for the McLaren, who was second, and that is heartbreak as Rilo spun into the wall, and now there goes Leffert's shield. You could have said that DRS, but it's last lap. Rio has got to, he's got DRS, but Leffert's got a full tank of battery to defend from this. Rio does not, it's only 16%, but Leffert has full battery. So this is where, what's going to happen here? It's all down to the straight line speed. Leffert's managed his battery really well. And Rio Harris, he's going to now just be pushing all he can on this last lap of this race. But oh my goodness, what heartbreak for Jack Gornall. What could have possibly been a second place has turned into heartbreaking. And in 8th place, but now Rio Harris has a look on the outside of Lefferts. He's going to hold it around the outside. Lefferts fighting all he can. He's got battery, but does he have the grip in the tyres in the corners? It's Lefferts on the inside line, and he holds on again. Rio Harris gets the switchback, however, he'll burn, but Lefferts has significantly more battery, and now he holds on. Just for a little bit longer, 2 DRS straights to go. Out in front, it's been a masterclass drive from Jono, who will take the statement win tonight, and he keeps this championship alive. Jono wins the Singapore Grand Prix. What a race for him. But meanwhile, we have to turn to this battle here for second. It's the inside for Sammy. He's joined this battle. He's up to 5th. But Rio Harris, does he have the straight line speed? I think Lefferts has done all he can to hold on, and it is done very good. It's been a very tough race for our championship leader tonight. The points gap will be significantly decreased, but with some very good racing and defending and attacking and all of everything he's needed to do today, he takes P2 to seal second, and a very well-deserved 56 points. But it's now ever so close in the championship. 8 points in it, I think. I'll double check, but I think it's 8 points. It's more than that, sorry. 56, because he got second, is a massive, it's almost 20, it's 18, I think. Oh no, I think, hang on, 364 minus 17? I'm surprised he didn't. The RB of F1NZ got it. He could have gone fastest lap. That is something that you've brought out there, Manu. That's actually a very strong point. So Jono wins. Lefty second. Rio Harris, debut for Wallaby, gets third. Brilliant driving from him. Very well deserved podium. JDI in 4th. Sammy 5th. F1NZ 6th. Viper 7th. And Jack Gornall in 8th. And I believe it is over for Viper in terms of the championship. I think he is mathematically out of it now, but it's now the fight between these two going into the last 2 races, Jono and Lefferts. I'm going to try to do interviews. Hopefully Discord doesn't lag out the stream.